Hey there, I'm JD, and today I'm excited to show you this simulator that I found that's about boats. It's called the Boat Docker, and it's all about, well, docking boats. When you get to the Boat Docker, this first screen may be sort of intimidating. There's a lot of options, which are cool, but we're just going to skip through that and jump right into the simulator. So here it is. Just to show you how to get started, when you start, you're actually in a pause mode, which may be confusing, but it's actually great because you can move your boat around. So your boat is this one, and you can tell it because it's got the little dots on the side, and I'll explain those later. You can decide where you want to start, whether you want to start on the dock or in the water, preparing to dock, whatever. And you use the steering wheel to rotate your boat and then place it wherever you want. So this is actually a cool feature, but if you're trying to get things going, it may be confusing because your thrusters do nothing right now. So to actually get started, you'll come over here to the run button. So now you're actually simulating, and we can try it out. And then you've got your thrusters or engine. And already you can see what I love about this is that the boat continues to coast after I turn off the engines. This is very realistic. There are a lot of games I've played and even kind of simulators that don't really simulate that very well. So let's put our engines just a little bit ahead and then try out the steering wheel here. You can see we're turning. Once again, I'll cut the engines. And not only do we coast, but we continue to rotate. Again, very cool, very realistic. Yeah, so I love that. And then it may feel kind of clunky to use the mouse to rotate the controls, and you can use keyboard if you want. Like here I'm using the arrow keys to change the steering, and there are keyboard keys for the throttle. But I actually kind of like it because in real life, in my experience, moving the throttle or the steering wheel on a boat takes some time, and so you can't just instantly get that input that you want. So I actually like this. It helps you think ahead and plan your moves. So with the engine off, let's put the steering wheel over to the right, and then let's give it a little bit of thrust. And then we'll put the steering wheel all the way to the left. And some reverse. And as we're going back, you can see we're not turning quite as effectively. Very realistic again. Steering wheel to the right. And actually, we'll just center that because we'll continue to turn. Again, pretty realistic. So, yeah, I really like this. And you can see how this would be a really good training thing because of that realism. All right, so we'll head over to this dock here so I can show you the cool thing about those dots I was talking about. So, not really a good docking position, but close enough to show you. These dots on the side are the mooring cleats. And so you can click on one of these, turns red, and then click on one of these rectangles on the dock, and now we've just thrown a line and moored it to that cleat. And we can do that with other ones. And if we were in a good spot, then we could tie up. And then to remove them, you just click on the actual dot again, and it goes away. But then as you're cleated off here with the line, the red, I believe, indicates that it's taut. So if we were to go forward a little bit, I think it'll turn black. Yeah, like that. That helps you understand what's tight, what's not, even though it's still just a straight line. So this is really cool. I love the basic functionality. I love how it simulates things pretty well. So yeah, that's the Boat Docker. Now let's go back and let me turn off my engine. Don't leave your engine running. That's not a good idea. Let me reset so I can demonstrate the wind and water configuration, which I think really sets this simulator apart from anything I've tried before. So on the left here we have wind and water, as you can see spelled out. And then in the middle you have the strength, and then around the sides you have the direction. So the white dot moves to show the direction. So let's put some water heading to the east or the right, and then we'll just increase the speed here. And you can see our boat starts to drift. If you turn the rudder, it does move. Now, to be honest, I don't know if this is realistic, because it probably is somewhat, because changing the rudder changes the sort of angle of the boat against the water. But as the entire water, the current or tide, not tide, current, as the water, the current moves, everything in it would travel with it. And I'm not sure the rudder would do much, because it's not pushing against the water is taking it with it, so to speak. But there is a little bit of friction. The boat doesn't want to move. Water is making it move, and so, yeah, maybe a little bit of rudder would make sense. But this is one thing I'm not quite sure about. I haven't spent a lot of time in boats in current, and so I don't know for sure. And then, likewise, stop this and move us over. The wind is very similar. Let's put it going the same direction. Add some wind speed, then we start drifting. Again, I'll use the rudder. Now this, I think, is very realistic in terms of the rudder changing how the wind impacts the boat. I'm just going to stop it here and reset the boat again. Let's put it facing this way. Okay. Now we have the wind pushing us. Now this is the part that I'm expecting to see something happen here, and I'm not 100% sure it's happening. So with a boat, typically you have the engine and stuff in the back. That's where the weight is. It's lower in the back. It's usually higher in the front to avoid digging into waves. And so when the wind pushes a boat, typically, I believe it pushes the front more than the back. And so I would expect this to be like wind veining, turning away from the wind as the wind was pushing it. Or maybe pushing it sideways. It kind of depends on the boat. But it doesn't seem like it's changing the attitude of the boat much. And so this, I think, is one other thing that's maybe not so accurate. Better than nothing for sure. Even that it has this setting is great. Especially if you were to combine the wind and the water, water pushing you one direction, wind pushing the other. This would be pretty helpful to figure out what you would need to do to compensate for those different forces. But I will say I'm not sure it's 100% accurate in the wind part. But I don't know. I don't know what it's calculating, and I don't know what type of boat is in there, in the calculation. So just something to consider if you've actually got a boat and you're actually practicing. If you've nailed the basic maneuvering, but you're ready to move up to advanced and want to add some wind and water, which is really smart because you never know where you can get out on the water, I would just keep that in mind. All right, well, that's the Boat Docker. I'm really excited to share this with you. To find this for yourself, you'll go to theboatdocker.com. Just remember, you're going to hit that configuration screen. Feel free to make some choices if you want, or just hit run and come out here and try it out. And then again, remember, when you start, you'll be in the pause mode. You got to hit that run button before you can actually move your boat. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, and let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you next time.